Just some quick dollar index analysis. I'm going to talk about the pitchforks and harmonics, and then I'll talk about the ichimoku, and I'll go up on the time frames as we go. So on the half hourly, we've got a bearish free drives. You won't see it because I'm zoomed in, but I've zoomed in so you can see the levels. And so what these dotted lines are, the shift channel. Okay, so I'll zoom out to show you. So what it does, it calculates the lows and then it projects that angle. So whatever that angle there, it will project an angle there. And then we get like the 61.8 angle from that low, if that makes sense. So this is your Fibonacci, and then this is your resistance supports. And so the Dixie is below the 38.2. Hopefully you understand how that works. It's just the calculation of the angles of the swing lows. And then that's your Fibonacci from using that angle. So 97.62 is a level you'd want to be looking at on the half hourly. Go to the hourly now. Just going to make this a quick one. Descending channel. Make that. Okay, so using the same logic, it's the swing lows. So the same shift channel applies on the hourly. Bearish free drives, descending channel, but the pitchfork is up. So do take note of that. So then we'll go to H4. And you'll find that this is bearish as well. Descending pitchfork this time, a descending channel. See, the shift channel was a little bit more aggressively descending than the H1. Go to there and you can see why. It's quite clever how it calculates it, really. There's that angle there pertains to that. So this would be a line of confluence. See how it's the main pitchfork, the median line, and it would be the lowest shift line. So that would be an awesome buy opportunity there. But we've got supports below. But yeah, it's worth keeping an eye on that descending channel because we are in one now, and sentimentally it's not looking that great for the dollar, although it might cross over neutral, so we'll have to see. So that's the H4, looks quite bearish. We'll go to the daily now, and then we'll zoom in. Right, so we see how because we made a higher high, that's how that shift channel is calculated. So hopefully you understand what I mean by this, and then see how it's that connects that to that, and then obviously it projects that. So dotted line. So it's a bullish ABCD on the daily. The shift channel, which is what I've talked about just now, is ascending, but the main pitchfork is slightly descending. And there's the H4 line there, so that'll be something to keep an eye on if it breaks this line. But it should do because of the ascending channel, but the sentiment isn't looking that great at the moment. So the half hour Ichimoku, so we've got some support here from the Kumo cloud, and we've got some support here in the trading price, about to hit the Kijinsen. We don't want that to cross, ideally. We want that to remain support. We're below the Kijinsen and Tenkan-sen supports, so it's looking fairly bearish on the half hourly. I wonder if we can draw a fib on that. Round about there, isn't it? Okay, so it's, that Ichimoku bottom is identical to the 50%. So that's quite interesting. So you can draw that yourself. Just pull up a Dixie chart and just look at that NFP low to high, and then 50%. So that should be a good support. H1. And there's that same fib. So we're above the Kumo on the hourly. The trading price is in the cloud, so that's a sign of turbulence. Ideally, we'd want that to be above. We have had a cross here, but we're above the Kumo on the hourly. We don't want that to cross below, and we certainly don't want the trailing price to cross below the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. H4. So there's that 50% line again. So the trailing price is bearish because we're below the Kumo. Current price is certainly below Kumo as well, the cloud. And we're probably just holding on to the MA 21 day. So it's looking fairly bearish in the H4, and that corresponds to what we were seeing on the pitchforks. That was quite bearish in the H4. And then we'll go to daily. So we've got a trailing price below, bearish. Current price is below, that's bearish. And we're below the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. So we'll have to see what the Fed say this week. There might be some profit taking, perhaps. And then last but not least, we'll go to the weekly, and that's actually bullish. So we're above the Kumo, quite nicely strong above. The the Chiku span, which is the trailing price, is above. And it's not only just above the Kumo, but it's above the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. So it's quite bullish on the weekly. As long as that doesn't cross below, then we're okay. So yeah, it's looking bullish on the weekly on the Ichimoku, but anything below the weekly, it's fairly bearish. I mean, the daily was quite bullish, but the weekly is looking a lot stronger. And on the pitchforks, we found that the daily was bullish, but anything below the daily, it was quite bearish, technically speaking. And don't forget, we want to get the sentiment and the fundamentals to align with what we're seeing. So if you're scalping, it could be good for a sell. But if you're in there for the long term, then it's still good for a buy. And don't forget your swap interest overnight as well, which pays quite nicely. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. On the small time frames, it's looking quite weak, but on the weekly, the daily and the weeklies, it's looking okay. Hopefully it helps.